Hey, what's up, everybody? Lawler here, back with some power rankings for the European region for RLCSX. We have finished up Beyond the Summit and everything else. Those are not going to be weighted into these just because the guys are having a little bit of fun, but we're going to take a look at the regionals as well as the grid and kind of recent results. This has been about 2 weeks since we've done this. For those that are unaware or don't know, in the description you can find links to everything that I kind of use as a reference for this, but more importantly, the ranking system. That link will be in the description if you guys would like to take a peek at how these teams have kind of performed and the results, other than just the list that is up above me. But with that said, let's get into the power rankings so we can kind of crush through these. I want to start doing these a little bit faster just because it is like a subjective thing, but I know a lot of you guys prefer the long form. So up first, I'm going to start with the honorable mentions. It is going to be Redemption, Wolves, and Endpoint. Endpoint is a team that I think still has a ton of potential, but they've just been kind of falling a little bit short. Same with Wolves. Wolves, I was actually pretty happy to see them progress, but they've actually been getting beat up by Tryhard. So I probably should put Tryhard in here now that I think about it, because they've been doing pretty good. Redemption is a team that I do think could also be pushing into this. I think Mike Boy and the rest of the guys have been playing pretty dang stellar. So I will be interested to take a look at them after the break and see if they continue their performance. So far, to me, they are like the upset team. If you guys want a dark horse, it is 1000% Redemption. They are fun to watch and super chaotic and in the face of their competitors all the time. And even making it all the way to the semifinals in the grid recently. So Redemption, 100% like my honorable mention. They should probably even be in the top 10 if I'm being honest. Up first and staying the same is going to be Dignitas. This team I am very, very excited to continue to watch. We did get a taste into BTS of what this team is capable of. I don't know if it's just because of lack of pressure or what, but it does, from what I'm looking at, trying to extrapolate some information from it. I won't say it's the end all to be all, and that's why I don't have them higher. I'm not weighting it that heavily, if at all. But it does look like Jorias and apparently Jack are starting to find that chemistry. They knew it was going to take some time, but it looks like a lot of the pressure has been taken off of Jorias, where Jorias doesn't have to score everything, and apparently Jack is a little bit more assertive, and it's starting to create some fun chances for them. They're going toe-to-toe against some of the big dogs, and it's exciting to see. I think it's going to continue to trend in that direction. We didn't really get much of it in week 2 of the grid because they got beat by the inevitable winners in Singularity right away. So it will be interesting to see if Dignitas can continue their path. They're finishing top 8 when in the past they were nowhere near that. They're finishing like 14th. So good to see Dignitas starting to progress up a little bit. Keep your eye on Dignitas. That is the one team that I'm just like, we might continue to see them push up, but they've got a lot of competition in their way. At number 9 is going to be Singularity. This team, like I said, recently won the grid. And as for the regionals, not too great. They put up a little bit of a run, so they got dropped immediately by You Choose Pesce, and then they beat Denied, Rix.GG, and lost to Galaxy Racer, a team that I consider very talented. So they did go to 5 in that one. I think if it was a best of 7, you may have gotten a different result. So they are just outside of the top 8, but Singularity to me is hit and miss. We got to see the absolute goated version of Singularity. Absolutely dominant. Hibbs on defense, incredible. Scrubkilla and Breezy both hitting whatever they wanted to. You got to see why Scrub was so excited from scrims and everything else, that recreation in a live event. So if Singularity can continue to perform that way, I am very interested to see what Singularity ends up doing in the future, but it is the grid, and we do not want to have that be the end all to be all. Singularity has got to prove it to me. I think, and I've said this numerous times in the past, they can be the best team in Europe. They can also be one of the most likely to play down to their competition. So Singularity, show me consistently that you can do it before I bump you up. At number 8 is going to be Oxygen, taking a little bit of a step down, and this one's mostly because of the teams that are ahead of them. Oxygen's kind of hit and miss. They do lose to Dignitas most recently in losers round 3 of the regional 2. When it came to week 2 of the grid, they lost to Redemption in the quarterfinals. It did go 2-5 and the distance, and it was a pretty close series, but again, Oxygen, this is a team that you should be beating without a doubt. Redemption, I think, just has a playstyle that counters them pretty heavily. Oxygen's problem for me is about finding a way to control the pace of the game. They always keep it close, and they can play upset, and there's certain times where it's like, all right, you know, they're feeling good today. The passes and shots are hitting, but then there's other times where it's like accuracy is missing. You're just missing that third man in rotation to sustain offense, and it just kind of falls short sometimes. But I don't think the mental hurdle they used to have is a problem anymore. Now it's just a matter of if they're playing on that day or not. So Oxygen's moving a bit down, and primarily is because of another team that I unfortunately don't think we get to see enough of. It's going to be Team Queso. VK Salen, a round of applause, man. What you have done for this team to move you guys up into number 7 for me is commendable. You guys go all the way to the grand finals in Regional 2, and because you guys don't get to compete in the grid, we don't get to see any more of you. But You look at the results and the way they're performing, they are third overall in the standings right now. That's kind of insane. This is the former Magnifico team. I'll say this every time until people stop asking me. So knowing how trolly chat can be, I assume that's going to continue to happen. But no longer with Greasy. VK Sailing comes in. Team Queso, not Magnifico. This team's good. I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, this team's very good. I love watching them play. They're super creative with their offensive plays. Not afraid to go for solos, but can also pass it and work the field too. If you want to see Team Queso in the way that they're supposed to perform, go watch that BDS game in the losers finals. That was a fun Team Queso to watch, and the fact that they can recreate that against some of the top tier rosters is really exciting. Their only losses in this entire tournament for Regional 2 both came from top lokes. One in the winter semis, one in the grand final. Team Queso, very talented team moving up. I haven't seen them in 2 weeks, so it's kind of tough to give them like a huge bump, but they're going to be moving up is my assumption. I would move Team Queso up a lot more if I got another result, but when you only see them once every 2 weeks, it's kind of tough. The fact that they are in top 10 should be pretty commendable, but you could probably put them at like 5 or 6, maybe just outside of 4. I mean, with the way Vitality is playing, who the hell knows? So we'll see. Number 6 is going to be Guild. Devo has been a fantastic addition. Love seeing what they're doing. They are competitive in almost every series, and they are just getting beat out by the team ahead of them. Ultimately, this team, again, still 6th or 5th, just like they were last time throughout the entire fall split. Kind of like the new Barcelona spot, I would say. And they're competing neck and neck with a team right above them, which has got to be Galaxy Racer. Galaxy Racer is a super talented team. Since Arju's addition back in fall split, they've been way more confident, ability to challenge and create opportunities. Matane has been having some pretty good days. This one, to me, if Galaxy Racer is going to continue to progress, it's just finding a way of recreating those high-level performances from Ixo or Arju. It's usually when they're all playing really well, but then in the grand finals, in that high-pressure moment, they just seem to play a little bit lackluster. They have yet to take the big victory. That is kind of what I'm waiting on. They can beat the top teams above them. They can beat all of the top 4. They've been able to do it against BDS and Blokes, Giants, and Vitality, and any of that kind of mixture, whatever order it is. But they just can't do it in the grand finals. I don't know why. At number 4 is going to be Vitality, taking 2 spots down. Vitality's just been looking flat. I don't know what else to say on this one. I think Vitality proves that they can fall flat and then still have super competitive results. I just don't know if they're getting surprised because all these other teams are just quite honestly working harder. But Vitality's got to get a little bit of a kick in the pants. They've been looking kind of lackluster lately. Despite that, you look at BTS and they lose early and then they still win in the second round. But Vitality to me is just getting outperformed by the top 3. And number 3, and probably one of my favorite exciting teams to watch, is going to be Giants Gaming with Itachi. I love what Itachi's doing. He's basically, to me, like a recreation of like Alpha 54. Going for flip resets a ton, a lot of creative plays. While Steak and Thamway kind of just mix it up, go for demos and creativity on that end. A lot of disruption on Giants as of late, and those solo plays allow them to kind of move freely while that's happening. They just haven't been able to get as many wins or as many big victories as others. That being said, they do go to the grand finals against Singularity in Grid and lose that one. And then for the regionals, they do go to the loser semifinals for top 4 and lose to Queso. So not like they're playing bad. I think Giants are still a super talented team. I still think they're playing quite well. Just a matter of that some of the other teams are getting bumped out. Queso being that surprising one. If Queso doesn't go there and they play against like a Redemption or like a Galaxy Racer or something, I'd assume Giants would move then into the losers finals, and then it's like a 50-50 between them and like BDS, and who knows what happens. At number 2, and well-deserved, one I've been thinking about for a while is Top Lokes. Probably my favorite team to watch in Europe right now. I think the way that they are intentful with their passes, the creativity, the way that they move the field is very exciting. They've been swapping in a lot of players, like Teta played as a sub, so we didn't get to see Archie just because of schooling and stuff. But when the team is all playing and they're all performing, they look great. I think Top Lokes is a team that has solidified themselves. I'm excited to see when that org announcement is coming, because it is coming soon, and it's well deserved. They've been busting their ass for 2 splits now and have shown consistently that they're a top tier team. So congrats to Top Lokes. Top 2, I think it's well deserved. You win regional 2. And in the playoffs for the grid, yeah, you lose to Galaxy Racer, but like that's not what's important to me. You show you're 2nd overall in the standings, solid performances, whether it's top 4 every single time in regionals, and that's what counts. So Top Lokes, dang good team, and really happy to see, because this is a team that Cassio, when he was on my, we were doing a watch party and Cassio joined us and we were talking about stuff. Super funny. I'd recommend going back and watching it. The VODs on Twitch. He's like, yeah, I know you and the rest of the guys on the CJ show used to call Veloce super boring, and we're like, yeah, it's because it was, man. Like, we didn't like your playstyle. We'd never discredited you guys and said that it was effective and everything else, but you are one of the players that I respect, because even though I called your playstyle boring and we, harassed you guys a little bit, we still respect the fact that you guys are getting wins and it's frustrating to play against, and you don't hold that grudge. You're willing to come on my stream and talk and hang out and shoot with me and Calm, and there's no ill will. He uses it as motivation and continues to progress. So I think Cassio is probably the most underrated player in EU right now. I think he's absolutely cracked, and he's been doing a really good job for top looks to where Archie isn't having to do everything. Cassio has really stepped up, and that's not even mentioning Flame, who I think again is another really talented player. So top looks, I'm pretty keen on. Last but not least, and as always, I mean, it's BDS. It's always BDS at number one. They have had some kind of polarizing results as of late. I talk about the 50-50 with Giants, and that's what they lose to in the grid in week 2. In the quarterfinals, where it does go to 5 and BDS loses. They did not look as dangerous as before. I think BDS is still probably the best team, but I think the thing that's happening now in the Winter Split is they can bleed. I think people are finally recognizing that, yes, it is very difficult to stay at the top. To recreate the Dignitas level performance that they had in season 4, 5, 6 as they were Gale Force and then transitioned, I think is very, very difficult. And the fact that BDS won 3 out of the 4 is something that I don't think we'll ever see consistently again. It's just Rocket League is too competitive. There's too many matches. There's so much burnout happening that until a team kind of finds the formula for what works best for them with how much break we need to have versus how much practice we need to have and stuff like that, it's going to be tough to create. I think BDS is stacked. I think they're absolutely talented. I think everybody is worried about this team, and rightfully so, especially with how well Monkey Moon has been playing. Same with Extra, but yeah, BDS is the best team in Europe. It's hard to argue. I do think there's some arguments for Blokes and Giants Gaming to push into those and kind of get the 50-50 result. And I think that's the benefit. In the past, it just used to be like BDS wins, no problem. That's my prediction. Now there's actually like a little bit of consideration of like, I don't know if they're going to be able to take it this time. This team's looking pretty good today. So BDS, again, they're being competitive. They're still at the top. Results show it, but look how much closer it is. So exciting stuff here from Europe. That is going to wrap it up for me today. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you'd like to share your own list, make sure you drop those in the comments down below. But that is going to do it for me. If you guys enjoyed the content, thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.